Bitcoin is currently breaking down out of this symmetrical triangle and we're seeing a huge dump for Bitcoin in the last hours. However, this is nothing to panic about because I will tell you exactly what we can expect for Bitcoin and why Bitcoin is still bullish. I also got some big news, but I will tell about that later in this video. There are a lot of interesting formations I will discuss with you on the Bitcoin charts because I see a lot of interesting patterns unfolding. There's also a lot of interesting news coming in for the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs. And there are also a lot of interesting newer articles coming into the market, which I'm going to discuss with you in this video. Later in the video, I will also analyze the two altcoins Cardano and Dogecoin. So you want to watch this video all the way to the end to don't miss anything. Please like the video because it will help this channel a lot. And with that being said, let's dive right into the charts. Yesterday I've been discussing this symmetrical triangle with you on the Bitcoin 1 hour time frame. We saw multiple touch points here on the top side as resistance and on the lower side we saw multiple touch points here as support. And yesterday we saw a little bit of a dump for Bitcoin and we're now breaking down of this symmetrical triangle. And the lower side of this formation will be the breakdown target, and that will be around to $99,500. So we could see a little bit of a downside for Bitcoin in the coming hours, but I expect that Bitcoin is going to see more exponential moves to the top side, which I will discuss with you later in the video. So for now, we are seeing this breakdown for Bitcoin, but of course there's nothing to worry about because we are still seeing higher lows unfolding on the 1 hour chart, and this means that Bitcoin is still in a little bit of an uptrend. So let's see what will happen for the rest of the day. And we could see a little bit of green candles after these red candles, but I think there are also a lot of interesting levels to look at, and I will tell you everything about this later in the video. For instance, if we zoom out to the 4 hour time frame for Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin finally broke out of this huge resistance area. We saw multiple touch points here in the past as resistance. And finally, we broke to the top side and we are retesting this previous resistance to turn it into support. From there, we saw a beautiful bounce to the top side. And as we can see, we saw a little bit of a downside and a bearish move for Bitcoin unfolding. But now we are creating a higher high and probably also a higher low from here. So this could mean that we're going to see a shift from a bearish trend into a bullish trend. And we can also see this horizontal level is acting as support now before it was acting as resistance. As we can see here in the past, we can see multiple touch points here as resistance. And now finally we broke to the top side. We retested it as support. So this is actually looking very strong for Bitcoin. So we are now coming back to this level once again. So let's see if Bitcoin can see another bounce from this level. But of course, there's also a bearish scenario possible. And that means that Bitcoin is going to break below this horizontal support again. And then we maybe can see a retest to test it as resistance. And from there, we can enter the market in a short and aim for lower targets. But for now, we are seeing that this horizontal support is holding strong. And as we can see, we are seeing a little bit of a wick on the lower side of this 4 hour candle already. So I think we will see just a bounce to the top side. And then we can maybe see new all-time highs unfolding in the coming days. So it is actually looking very bullish for Bitcoin in my opinion on the 4 hour time frame. Later in the video, I will also look at the daily time frame for Bitcoin. But first, let's have a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow of yesterday. Yesterday, we can see that BlackRock was buying for $344 million. And we also saw that we are seeing a little bit of sell-offs from a couple companies. So in total, we saw $248.7 million of total cumulative inflow. So this is insane, of course. And we are seeing again a spike to the top side. And we're coming closer to this $40 billion target of total cumulative inflow for the Bitcoin ETFs. And currently, we are at the $39.2 billion. So we could hit the $40 billion today. And of course, that would of course be very bullish for the markets overall. And if we then have a look at the Ethereum ETF, we can see that yesterday was another very bullish day for the Ethereum ETFs. We can see that BlackRock was buying like crazy. And in total, we saw $70.7 million of inflows in the Ethereum ETF. So this was also having a bullish effect on the price of Ethereum. And zooming all the way out to the daily time frame, we can also see that this symmetrical triangle was unfolding. We saw multiple touch points here on the top side as resistance and multiple touch points on the lower side as support. A couple of weeks ago, we broke to the top side. We retested this previous resistance as support after we confirmed the breakout. Then we saw a retest. From here, we entered the market and then we saw a beautiful spike to the top side. We also came to this higher side of the formation, which was also confluent with the breakout target. We reached it, and now we are seeing a little bit of a rejection to come back to this maybe potential previous support. So This is also looking very bullish on the daily time frame, and of course on the lower time frame, on the 1 hour time frame, we are breaking down of a triangle. But on the higher time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is still in this beautiful uptrend, and I think we will just see a continuation of the bullish uptrend, because I think we are just at the beginning of the bull market. So let me know in the comments, do you think that Bitcoin is going to hit $110,000 in January of this year, or do you think that we will see it in February? And also this range is very important to look at on the daily time frame. We can also see this huge horizontal resistance coming into play, and it is acting very strong, as we can see here. The last 2 days we saw a big rejection coming into the market, and on the lower side we can see this horizontal level as support. So every time we touch this level on the lower side, we saw a beautiful bounce. So it is possible that Bitcoin comes all the way back to this lower side support, and that would bring Bitcoin all the way back to the $92,000. But I think that Bitcoin is ready to break to the top side, potentially see a retest of the resistance to test it as support. And if we can confirm the breakout to the top side and we are going to see a retest, I'm going to enter the market here for Bitcoin in a long and maybe spot buy order for the long term. Because eventually when we are breaking this higher side formation, we are going to see more exponential moves, because then we will create a higher high and also a higher low. So that would of course be the continuation of the bullish uptrend for Bitcoin. So for now, we are seeing a little bit of a rejection coming into the market, so we could also aim for a little bit of lower levels. But of course, there's also another interesting support level broken to the top side. This was acting as resistance first, and now we are seeing a retest as support. So we could also see that we're going to see a bounce from this level, but I think Bitcoin will eventually see a breakout to the top side, and then we will see exponential moves. And I also have some very big news for you. And that is that I got a new X account, because my last X account got suspended without any reason by Twitter. So I'm posting here, and as you can see, I also got my blue check mark back. So the ad is The Crypto Yapper, and please follow me on Twitter so I can post for you again. And of course, I do everything for free. In the description under this video, you can find the link to my new X account. And of course, please follow me there, because it will be highly appreciated. And I will be posting a lot, just like in the past. And if we zoom out all the way to the weekly time frame of Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin is now currently in this consolidation. After the huge bear market run to the top side, we are seeing this bull flag unfolding. We broke it bullish to the top side, and now we are creating some sort of a bull flag formation. So we could potentially see a continuation of the price after this bull flag is going to break to the top side. And if we do, we will see the next exponential move for Bitcoin, just like we saw in the last cycle and in the last bull market. So of course we are seeing a lot of interesting price action happening in the past, and this bull flag formation was also breaking to the top side. So let's see if we can see another bull flag formation that is going to break to the top side, because a bull flag is a typical bullish bias pattern. So if Bitcoin is going to break this bull flag to the top side, we will see a huge breakout. And then of course we could see targets of around to $133,000. So this is the breakout formation, and this is the breakout target for Bitcoin if we're going to see a breakout of this bull flag formation. So keep in mind that this could all happen in the coming weeks. And the price of Bitcoin for $133,000 is something you would sign for right now. And we also have some very important news coming in yesterday, and it was that BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says that Bitcoin could reach $700,000. And of course this is a very interesting take on Bitcoin. And here he was saying that as at the Bloomberg live from Davos at the World Economic Forum meeting. So he is just talking about Bitcoin at the World Economic Forum, and that is exactly what we want to see. And also we have the SEC officially announced a crypto task force led by pro-Bitcoin Commissioner Hester Peirce. I also talked about this in my video of yesterday, but now it is official, and now they are making a task force to form a formation of the new crypto task force. So this is insane, of course, and the SEC is taking Bitcoin and crypto very serious. And the first altcoin I want to have a look at is Dogecoin. In the past we can see that Dogecoin was in this huge consolidation formation to the downside, and this falling wedge formation was finally breaking out. We saw a beautiful rise for Doge, and from this breakout we already saw almost a 400% increase. So this is insane, of course. And if we then have a look at the daily time frame for Doge, we can see this symmetrical triangle is unfolding. And on the top side we can see a lot of touch points as resistance, and on the lower side we can see multiple touch points here as support. So every time we touch this support on the lower side, we saw a beautiful bounce to the top side. And we also of course have the Doge government implementation by Elon Musk. So of course, we are seeing a huge spike to the top side for Doge from the bear market lows. Then we are now seeing a huge consolidation, and eventually the price of Dogecoin is going to break out to either the top side or either the downside. And I think the chances are higher because we are still in a beautiful uptrend. So we could eventually see a break to the top side. We have to wait for confirmation of the break. Then we are going to wait for a retest of the previous resistance to turn it into support. And from here you can enter the market for Doge in the long and then aim for higher targets. And I think Dogecoin will hit levels around to $1 in this bull cycle. But of course, we could also see a breakdown of this symmetrical triangle, and that we're going to see a retest of the support to test it as a resistance. And from here, you can enter the market in a short, and then you have to aim for lower targets. But for now, Dogecoin is still inside of this range, and eventually this price of Doge is getting squeezed into this apex. So we could either see a break to the top side or the downside. And let me know in the comments, do you still hold Dogecoin in your portfolio? And what do you think about this formation? Are we going to break it to the top side or the downside? And yesterday we also had some very important news, and that was that Bitwise files for a Doge ETF. So this could also have a very important price effect on the price of Doge. And of course, this is also very bullish for a lot of other altcoins and meme coins, because a lot of money will flow into the crypto market as a whole. And this is very good and very bullish for the crypto market overall. And the next interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Cardano. We can see that Cardano was also having a very bullish run from the lower side of this bear market. And we came all the way from 32 cents, and then we saw an insane pump of almost 300%. So this is exactly what we want to see for projects like Cardano. And now we can see these horizontal levels are holding very respectfully. So we came to this top side resistance, but then we saw a rejection to the lower side. We came to this level that acted as support, and from these huge horizontal support and this green box of accumulation, I was telling you that I bought more Cardano. So congratulations if you took this trade together with me, because from these levels we could already have made an insane trade of almost 40%. So this was a very beautiful trade to make. And now we can see that Cardano is shifting a little bit from a downtrend into an uptrend, because we can see higher highs and higher lows. And this support was holding strong, but now we can also see a little bit of a rejection coming into the market. So we can also see that Cardano is coming back to this level. And if we're coming back to this level, I'm going to buy Cardano again, because every time we fall a little bit lower and we come back to the next support, I'm going to buy more for the long term, because eventually I think that Cardano will see levels around the $5 in this coming bull market. So from here, that is still a 500% increase. So I think this could be the time to take in some extra Cardano for the long term. So if we have a look at another time frame, and if we have a look at another chart for the Cardano, we can also see that this symmetrical triangle is unfolding. On the higher side, we can see a lot of touch points as resistance, and on the lower side, we can see multiple touch points here as support. So just like Dogecoin, we are going to eventually see a price squeeze of the price of ADA, and eventually we will see a breakout to the top side or either a break to the downside. And personally, I think that we will see a break to the top side, because we are in this huge bullish uptrend, and now we're seeing a little bit of a consolidation. And I think that if we're going to break out to the top side, then we will see the next spike to the top side for Cardano, and this will bring us to the maybe the previous all-time high of around the $3. So this could be the start for Cardano to be interested in the market of Cardano, because we are now in this consolidation formation, and eventually we will see a huge move next. So again, please like the video if you think it was useful. Please follow me on my Twitter channel, because it will highly appreciate it. And I will post a lot of interesting charts and formations for you for free. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.